Hello, this is Arcyllis, and I'm here with some Creators Corner content, and it's a new series that I thought up recently, where basically I will be showing off the different things that I've made, different well, in this set is Elder Scrolls Legends, but there'll be other sets coming soon enough, and yeah, I'll just be showing off things I made, and if I get maybe 100 subscribers or so, then I'll start seeing if I can maybe live stream some stuff so you guys can join in the fun and help me create more new stuff. And you guys can have your input in to help me create, so we can together we can create awesome content. I mean, the first few series will just be for fun, but then once I can gather enough support for the thing, I can actually start going to stuff that's going to be useful for me later on down the road. But anyways, enough about that. This episode is the second deck showcase for Elder Scrolls Legends. It's basically an update video showing you the changes I've done to the deck. Hold on, let me see. To make sure it's loud enough. But yeah, I've made changes to the deck lists since the last episode, significant changes, and changes the number of them too, but let's get started with Warriors of Orsinium, which I don't think this one's changed that much since the last one. That's the only change in the change log here. So let's go through the deck. Yeah, it's basically just nice, short, simple, just a classic orc deck. And basically, my idea behind it was, what's the best way to make sure I always have orcs in my hand? Make sure every creature in this deck is an orc. As you can see, if I go down to the distribution, this deck is as in 10 cards that are not creatures, and that means there's only 10 cards that aren't orcs. So yeah, I have a lot of orcs in this deck to make sure I always have the stuff that I need. To get Chieftain's Banners, Milton Chieftains, my Bancored Butchers, Stoneshard Orcs, Orclan Shaman, or Shaman. I like Shaman is singular, Shaman is plural. That's the way I think about it. I know some people just say Shaman as singular and then it's just both the same, singular or plural, but I like to try and differentiate, at least this one, since I can. But yeah, that's the way I say it. I don't know. I'm probably just weird like that. Anyways, yeah, that is the Warriors of Orsinium deck. It's just your good old orc deck. That's the next one. Loading. There we go. Next up, we have Thalmor Insurgents. There's the change log. And you can, well, basically, it was initially a Imperial board spam keyword deck, but I've since changed it so that, changed the focus of it from that to spells. So that's the change I've made, and here's the deck list. I was gonna make sure I'm hydrated. So yeah, basically this, just drinking some water before I restarted the mic. But yeah, the Thalmor Insurgents is basically just, it is a Altmer deck, but built in my weird way, which is, I'm a lore nut, so everything has a theme, and since it's Thalmor Insurgents, I don't have anything directly Thalmor related, as much as, yeah, but I do have an Altmer deck that I made. And what is Ancano doing in a Thalmor Insurgents deck, you may ask? Well, you'll have to wait till a later Creators Corner series to figure out that. Because that is information from another thing that I made in the Elder Scrolls universe. But yeah. Now on to the next one. I'm going to go back to my normal decks page, which is bringing me back to page 1. And you will see in a moment how many decks I've made. That was just page 2, but this is page 1. Basically, it's just an oldest to newest list, so yeah. I don't know how to reorder it, so it's like newest to oldest or whatever, I don't know. Anyways, next up is Arena Champions. Trying to go through these faster than I did last time, because last time I tried this once before, I believe yesterday, and the video was an hour long. I didn't want to post an hour-long video, especially when I had nothing to drink, so, like, I could tell that I was, like, I could hear the noises from the thirst that were coming through the mic, and it was just, like, awful. I'm like, I'm not gonna post that, so I'm gonna remake it here. Anyway, basically, this deck used to be just a medley of a bunch of random stuff, like those from an actual solo arena that I did, but I decided against it one time, and then I changed more stuff, and then I decided against that theme again, and actually made it themed as an Orc Rush deck. Yeah, this one's changed focus twice now. Anyways, let me give you the rundown. But yeah, basically this deck is, it's just Orc Rush deck, as I said. Just all the low-cost orcs to rush down my opponent. And of course Bancory Butchers and Orcish Warhammers and whatnot to lay down the hurt really quickly. But yeah, all kinds of stuff. Awesomeness. Anyways, back to onto the next deck. And also, if you ever want to look at any of these cards in particular, just pause the video while I'm mousing over one of them. And next up is Black Marsh Warriors. It's mostly complete. I'm not yet ready to show it. I mean, hold on, let me just turn this down a bit. Let me adjust it, like, between those two. I guess that works. But yeah, I mean, I'm not yet ready to show. I mean, right now, even though I've just uploaded episode 32 just today, and right now I've recorded like episode 50 something. Like, I think if I count, these with 153, 54. I think I'm like 57 in total here. So yeah, I'm pretty far along in the series. I'm like 30 episodes, like 20 episodes ahead. 25 more like it actually. But anyways, yeah. So you're basically seeing a sneak peek into the future of the Elder Scrolls series right now. Although not really. But anyways, on to the Black Marsh Warriors. I've changed this deck significantly since its first incarnation, because I tested the first incarnation with these cards and it just did not work. Not even in practice. So I was like, I'm not taking this out on the field if it doesn't work in practice. And I changed it. And I did some more stuff. And basically, now the deck is... Well, you'll see what the idea is once I do the rundowns. Here you go. Did you see it? Basically, the idea here is everything, well, except for Sails Through Storms, everything in this deck has an endurance attribute tied to it, so that my Stalwart allies can have a 1 out of 51 chance to fail. So they're pretty much, it's pretty much impossible for them to fail, almost. Well, I've had it happen a couple times to me. Just my luck, really, where I said Sails Through Storms was the next card in my deck, causing these guys to fail. I don't know. I mean, Sails Through Storms is too valuable to remove from the deck, but yeah. Just my luck, I guess. I'm gonna get some water. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna need some new water soon enough. Hopefully I can finish this video before the thing is up. But also, the other thing at this deck is I'm forcing my opponent to stay, like, to not go crazy in early game with, like, suppresses and other stuff like that. Well, suppressors are the main thing that does it. Also, Stalwart Allies and Haunting Spirits and other stuff, Stalking Shadow skills, just to help me to force my opponent down in early game, so I can delay the game until late game, where I can really get my power out there. Like, start dropping, like, Preservers of the Root, Stormhold Henchmen, and all the scary stuff, basically. Yeah, that's Black Marsh Warriors. And then my chair is squeaking. If you guys can hear that. I always notice that you can pretty much always hear my my chair and the mic. So yeah, that was just me like messing up my chair a bit. But yeah, that's... I still don't really want to put like stuff on it to make it stop squeaking, but yeah. Here's the Valenwood Hunters deck, and it's changed a little bit, somewhat significantly since in the first incarnation, because the first incarnation was more, I guess, agility focused or whatever, but then I realized that the Wood Elf cards, since they prioritize strength a lot, they really need more damage just to get in there. So I gave them like 3 skirmishers, elixirs, and stuff. But anyways, enough talking about that. There's the change log if you want to pause and look at it. There it is. And then here's the rundown for the deck. But yeah, the focus for this deck is pretty much... It was initially just wounds, but then I realized that wouldn't really work in my... At least not from what I could tell, it wouldn't work. But does that... I just realized something. Does that Bosmer have horns? It looks like she has horns. Like there. Look at that. And that. I don't know. It's weird. Well, at least unusual. I don't know if that's normal for Bosmer, but it's somewhat unusual. I'm not used to seeing that on a fully humanoid creature. One with a more horse-like bottom half, yeah, sure, but like a satyr or something. Satyr. However you pronounce that. Or fawn, I suppose. Like from Narnia. But anyways, yeah, this was initially just all wounding. Sorry, I got distracted. That happens really easily to me. Yeah, it was initially all wounds, but then I decided against that, and I decided... You know what? The Wood Elves, since they prioritize damage so much, they need more damage, and they need breakthrough. So I added skirmishers, elixirs, an assassin bow, a lot more stuff to prioritize that they're helping them pump out all the damage. Also things like Snowy Sabercat to help him, because I can double up any attack he gets is doubled. I mean, the breakthrough can get doubled too. Sorry. Oh, excuse me. Usually I mute my mic before that kind of stuff happens, but yeah. Sometimes it just happens and I can't stop it. But yeah, anyways, that's the... I may remove one of my crushing blows for something else. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Maybe you see do that right now. This always happens to me. Whenever I do these, I always think of something and then I just want to do it in the middle of the video. It shouldn't happen too often, but it happens sometimes. Loading. There we go. What I wanted to do was drop one of these. Get an assassin's bow. Or another one. There we go. So I can use the cover ability on the assassin's bows. Instead of just the burst of damage, I get the cover from the bows. But anyways, yeah, that's the Valenwood Hunters deck. I don't have bone bows in here because I have the, what are they? Earthbone Spinners. So that's what I use for silence. Anyways, that's Valenwood Hunters. Next up, Guarded Power. Here's the change log. Oops, there we go. Doesn't change that much. I mean, these 3 are just me debating between either adding Burning Touch or Ice Spikes, and I eventually just decided against both. Because the Ice Spikes were getting in the way of my deck stuff, but then Burning Touch would do the same, and they wouldn't cycle my deck. So I just removed the Ice Spikes, didn't add back the Burning Touch at the end, so now it's down to 50 cards again. But yeah, here's the rundown. But yeah, basically if you're also wondering, the reason why I don't have that many of the, like, Brayton cards that buff off losing their wards is because I don't want to be fully dependent on them to have victory. Because there's not that many warding cards I can put in the deck. So I need to have some cards that don't need their wards to get their power. That's why I only have, like, 1 Daggerfall Mage, and only 2 of any of the other ones. I also have High King Emmerich. This guy, one thing that surprised me after I made him, actually, is... Since this guy can actually hit face, as opposed to many other cards like that can only hit creatures. This guy can hit face, so like if I have like say 4 wards up, this guy will make it 5, and then that's 10 damage. I can shoot that straight at my opponent's face and just finish him off. And also, if I have like a couple elixirs of deflection up, I can pop up 2 wards immediately and then drop this guy for a 3rd. Maybe I'll have 1 more ward on top of that. It's already out. That'll be 4 wards plus 1 is 5. Or no, 3 wards plus 1 is 4. And then that's 8 damage. Just really easily. But yeah. Emmerich is actually pretty darn strong, surprisingly. I also have the Lion Guard Strategist in here just to get some free warding, because this deck's all about the wards. Next up is Bathe in Blood. If you want to hear the story about the title for this one, then go view the first iteration of this deck showcase thing. Here's the changelog. And then here's the rundown. So yeah, basically, it's a consume deck. It's a warrior race consume deck, because I also wanted to implement, like, Sowers of Revenge and other, like, Daedra things in here, because I feel like they fit. Because these consume things are not really nice people. I don't know. And also the Daedric weaponry and stuff. I don't know, that's just the way I thought about it. So yeah. That's the way that works. That's the Bathe in Blood deck, oops. If I mouse to the top, it does that. Next up is Daggerfall Covenant. Now here's the changelog. There's that. And this one, here's ready for a long one. Here's the rundown. So yeah, basically it is just a big Redguard deck. I got all manners of Redguards and also other Redguards other than the weapon type ones. Well, I made sure to have plenty of those, aside from the Dragonstar Riders, which I don't want to have too many of because they're a 5 cost 3/3, so yeah. But yeah, I have Battlers for War Riders, Season Captains for rally and rallying my items too, same time, and then Sparksmith, Skeleton Wayfarers, all kinds of Redguards that I could think of. Pretty much, I just threw into here. So yeah, that's what this deck is all about. It's a souped up version of a deck that I'm going to show you in a bit. It's higher up on the list. But yeah, that's the Daggerfall Covenant deck. Next up, we got Stalwart Vigil. No changelog for this one, but here's the rundown. But yeah, pretty much this is just your good old guard deck. I have all kinds of guards, all kinds of guard-themed cards like Watch Commanders, Mistveil Wardens, stuff like that. I got Galen in here for good measure, I got Crushing Blows for good measure, and all kinds of stuff. A lot of stuff to help me with guarding and stuff. I don't know why I don't have 3 Imperial Camps and 1 Divine Fervor. I don't know. Maybe I should do that, actually. Let's see here. Camp. Change that, because if I have more Imperial Camps, it means I can get just the 1 damage, but I also get the free guard off of it, which I don't get with Divine Fervor. So yeah, that's the Stalwart Vigil deck. What do we got next? Next up is Draconic Rage. This one's fun. Here's the changelog. There's that stuff that I did. And then Let me do the rundown. So yeah, basically it's a sorcerer based dragon deck, and also you may notice it seems odd the way I built this dragon deck, but I'll explain. So I mean, it's themed, of course, like all my decks pretty much. So if you're dragons, what's the only thing you're going to be able to get to help you? The undead. Like the Draugar are the only ones that are going to really be willing to help dragons. So any creatures in here that aren't dragons have to be Draugar or undead of some kind. So yeah, that's the idea behind that. Also, I have like Dragon Cult Ghost, Ancient Lookout. I don't have the Ghost Sea Lookouts because those are Bretons, not undead. But I have Restless Templars and stuff. And all that stuff. Awesomeness. So yeah, that's that. Moving on. Next up we have the Draugar. Speaking of Draugar, here's this. There's the changelog there. But like 20 hours ago, that was when I made my last attempt at doing this video, where I didn't have any instant drink. Hold on. But yeah, now I do, so you probably won't hear me, like, so much weirdness in my voice. I'm not going to show the previous footage, but you'll probably be able to imagine what I was talking about. It'll just be too irritating. But anyways, here's the rundown of this deck. Yeah, the idea is basically just using, like, just a bunch... I mean, the original idea, as you can see by the changelog, was to use Wisp Mothers and a bunch of, like, low-cost stuff to spam the board. But then I decided against that. I decided instead to go with the Blackworm Necromancer-based build, where I use, like, Skeletal Dragon... I only have one Skeletal Dragon, because I didn't want to draw too many of them. But yeah, I have Blackworm Necromancers and all kinds of stuff that are good things that I want to have resurrected by the Blackworm Necromancers. So yeah. Well, aside from the Ancestral... Maybe I should remove the Ancestral Dead, actually, because those guys are going to screw with my Blackworm Necromancers. Hold on. I'm editing the deck in the middle of the video again. One moment. Probably stick to low-cost stuff, shouldn't I? There's a lot of high-cost stuff in here. I'm going to go to... Spirits. Huh. Not many super appealing options here as far as a Blackworm Necromancer based deck goes. I guess I'll have to go with No, I'll just stick with the Ancestral Deads. Either way, it still has guard. It's not just a normal 1/1. That's good enough. But yeah, that is the Draugar deck. My undead deck. Let's see. Also with the Skeletal Dragon, if I play that first, then anything I bring out of the discard pile pretty much is going to be strong. Anyways, next up is Wrath of the Fallen. Especially if I bring out the Skeletal Dragon again. Then that'd be really, really crazy. So then I get another round of that buffness. Anyways, this is Wrath of the Fallen. Here's the changelog. And here's the rundown. So yeah, basically it's a Dunmer Death Rattle deck. Well, Dunmer or Dark Elf, if you will. But yeah, it's just a Death Rattle deck, basically. Nothing much more to say about it. That's that. It's one of my decks I enjoy the most. I think it's one of the earliest decks I completed on my initial account. Next up is Automata. Ah! Music's getting kind of loud there. Yeah, here's the change log, and then here is the rundown. So yeah, basically this is just it's a Dwemer deck I made. It's all neutral, as you can tell. It's all about the Dwemer machines and stuff. I have a lot of buffs and items and things, like I have like Elixirs of Conflict. I have what else do I have? Yeah, Dwemer Dynamos, Mundus Stones, Dwemer Armaments, and all that cool stuff too. The Armaments just help me buff up the things that have like no attack. Because there are a lot of things in this deck that have 0 attack, like the spiders and the other spiders, and then more spiders, and other stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not sure how well that's gonna go, but I like it. So that's Dwemer Automata deck. And also, it'll probably be a few days after recording this that you guys see this episode, because there's some parts I probably want to edit around stuff. So yeah, if I can, I'll see what I can do. Here's the Mammoths Herders deck. No change log for this, and here's the rundown. So yeah, basically it's a giant, a deck full of giants, trolls, and other Skyrim animals, cave bears and frostbite spiders and stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's got nothing low cost, so like the best I can do is drop a 3-drop. That's the earliest I can drop something. But yeah, after that, it's really powerful because everything in it is really high cost. Next up, we have where are we? Mammoths Herders, Markwater Goblins. Here's the change log. And then here's the rundown. So yeah, basically this is it's a goblin deck, pretty much. Plain and simple. That's all there is to it. It's just goblins. I got lots of goblins in this. Just a second. Yeah, it's just, yeah. I have nothing more to say about it. It's just goblins. Someone's yelling for someone. Someone's being loud around my house. Hold on. Okay, never mind. I didn't have to pause it. It's fine. Anyways, as they stopped yelling as soon as I paused it. So sorry about interrupting the music, everyone, but we're back. Next up is House Lalu. I was afraid they would start shouting out names, and I didn't want that to happen. There's the change log for how the House Lalu deck, and here is the rundown. Yeah, basically, it's just the focus is lots of card draw and lots of small stuff to combo into my other stuff, and just other stuff in general, just to be powerful and whatnot. Yeah, that's the focus of this deck. Card draw and plots and other strong stuff. That's how Lalu does. Anyways, next up is Imperial March. This is the first deck I made. And this... Here's the changelog. And here's the rundown. So yeah, basically it's an Imperial deck. Nothing more to say, just board spam Imperial deck. All kinds of AoE buffs and stuff. I did add in the... Hold on, let me wait for the music to go away. I did add in the Renowned Legate to add a bit of punch to the endgame, but yeah. Instead of a Lion Guard strategist. So yeah, that's Imperial March. Next up is Sands of Elsewhere. Here's the changelog to it. That, and then you have the deck list or rundown. If I had cut off myself earlier, I said rundown. There's a hotkey in my keyboard that I'm pushing, and I accidentally pushed it a bit fast there. But yeah, this is just a good old Khajiit Pilfer deck. Nothing much more about it, really. Just Khajiits and Pilfers. So yeah, that's that. Next up we have Moonphase. No changelog for this one, but here's the rundown. So yeah, basically it's a mage themed Waxwing deck with other kinds of Khajiit thrown in there because all the Waxwing cards are Khajiit, so I made the rest of it Khajiit too. That's that. Loading. There we go. Next up is Sons of Snow. Here's the changelog. And then here's the rundown. I'm still not sure about this build deck exactly because I tried it in a previous version and it didn't work, so I changed it and now I need to build it again. Still not sure about it. I may need to do more editing to make it better. Yeah, this is it right now. That's what I got for the Sons of Snow Nord deck. Nord theme. And also, one thing I want to say, if any of you guys feel like testing these out for me, like just building the testing out for me before I spend the time to invest the dust in and build them, do please let me know what you guys find as the results, or like how good these decks are, you think, because I would love to know that so I can edit them and I don't have to like keep because so far I've actually made 2 decks that flopped, which slowed me down quite a bit. So, and thankfully I had enough pre-recorded episodes so it didn't slow down the series. But yeah, I don't want to have to keep making decks that flop and then eventually like have the series slow down entirely because I can't make new decks right away because I have to get the resources to get new decks because the decks I made just failed. Anyways, next up is the Regatta, which you guys... I'm gonna nerd out here a little bit, because I'm a lore nerd, so I studied Elder Scrolls lore a lot. Regatta, the Redguards were... Well, they're initially from Yokuda, the continent of Yokuda, so they're called the Yokudans. And they came over to Hammerfell, and they came on this Hammerfell, landed in Hammerfell, and the natives in Hammerfell... Well, the Yokudans called themselves the Regatta, which means warrior wave for them, but the natives in Tamriel heard them call themselves the Regatta, and then the natives called these people the Red Guards as a corruption of that, and then the name Redguard just stuck, so now they're called Red Guards. So yeah, that's a quick explanation of that. Here's the changelog here, and then here's the rundown. So yeah, basically it's just a Redguard weapon deck. And it's the smaller version of the Daggerfall Covenant deck that I showed you earlier. So yeah, that's that. Next up we have House Redoran. The changelog for this one, but here's the rundown. Yes, the House Redoran deck is just a simple standard rally deck. Everything rallies and then a bunch of Dunmer all over the place. Stuff like that. Maybe I should choose different music for this. And like in the future I should choose different music to put in the background so like it doesn't get so loud at points where it just can't be heard. Anyways, next up we have the House Telvanni deck. Here's the changelog. Initially, it was a mesh between my Breton deck and my Dunmer, my Wrath of Fallen deck and my Guarded Power deck, but then that didn't... I found that I didn't draw enough of these Breton cards to make it worth it, so I just dropped them and added in more Dunmer and stuff. So yeah, that's the new House Telvanni deck. Here we go. So yeah, basically it's all like the Dunmer stuff and death rattles and cool stuff like that. And also I included only one Telvanni Catspaw now because having any more than one, it's just because their stats are low. I don't know, it just didn't work out very well when I have any more than one, so I only have one. So yeah, that's that. Next up we have Bestial Rage or Bestial Rage, whichever. Here's the changelog. And here is the rundown. Yeah, basically it's just a werewolf deck. That's that. And also I included improvised weapons instead of Dagoth daggers, because A, improvised weapons are more Nord themed, and B, improvised weapons are easier to play, because they're 0 instead of 1 They're 0 magicka instead of 1 magicka. Yeah, that's the werewolf deck I put together. Next up is Spriggans Bestiary. There's a change log. And here's the rundown. So yeah, basically it's a wolf deck with Spriggans thrown in there because I didn't have enough wolves to fill it out, so I put in Spriggans to supplement. And also I have a Conjure Spirit in there because I wanted to use Conjure Spirit somewhere, and I couldn't think of a good place to use it that would make sense. So I put it in here because I have at least some drain, and then I have and it gives me additional wolves, which is always good. Just shifting my stuff around. Conjuration Mage is the next up. No change luck for somebody. Here's the rundown. Yeah, it's basically everything Atronach themed, and then it's some extra card draw to help me cycle the deck a bit more. And also, it's all intelligence to make sure that the cunning allies always trigger. But yeah, that's the Conjuration Mage deck. Just all the Atronachs and stuff it's fully Atronach focused, pretty much. But yeah. Next up we got Gladiator. There's the change log. And then we got the rundown. Anyways, yeah, that's basically just it's like an arena based deck, which is Nord themed. So yeah, well, it's just Crusader themed, but it has a lot of Nords in it, so it's basically Nord themed. But yeah, it's the Gladiator deck. So yeah, we got. Next up, we have Restoration Mage. Here's the change log. And then here's the rundown. Yeah, it's not what you think you see in a Restoration Mage deck. It's just, well, first off, it's a Spell Sword deck, so that's odd. And it's just about healing. It's healing me with actual, like, healing, not drain. I don't think it's any drain in this deck at all. And I got rallies and a lot of high health things to help me, to give me targets to heal up. Like Healing Hands, Restoration Tutors, and all that stuff. Place Kinnereth. Awesome sauce. Expunge. Yeah. And then it heals me as well, because I have, like the Renowned Legates and Dawnstar Healers, all stuff like that. Next up is Ancient Skyrim. Here's the change log. And then here's the rundown. So yeah, basically it's just, you got Nords, you get undead for Draugar, you got animals from Skyrim, giants, dragons, and all kinds of cool stuff like that. Just to represent all the things I could think of you'd find in ancient Skyrim. I mean, initially it was just the Nord deck mainly, but then that didn't really work out super well, in my opinion, so I changed it. So now it has more undead and other stuff like that. Let's keep it going. But yeah, because initially it had way too many high-cost stuff things, so now then I changed it to now have more lower-cost stuffs. And next up is the Draugar. This one is not very powerful, I'm aware of this, and I like it anyways. So keep that in mind, but yeah, here's the change log, and then here is the rundown. But yeah, basically it's focused on Draugar and other aquatic creatures. It's not really it's probably not gonna be very strong, but it's fun. I made it for the heck of it because I thought it'd be fun, and I did. So yeah, that's how that works. And yeah, that's the Draugar deck. Next up is Vampiric Drain. I got no changelog for this one, but here's the rundown. But yeah, basically this is just, it's a vampire deck with some other drains in there to fill it in, and also, of course, Leafwater Blessings to benefit from the drains. I can keep buffing stuff with Leafwater Blessings. But yeah, I have all kinds of stuff focused on draining and a little bit of expunge in there to keep my things alive, like Core Clan, Bloodkin, stuff like that. I wanted to make a vampire deck, but I didn't want to have any blood magic because I don't like blood magic. So I did. I made a drain deck. That's that one. And the last but not least, although I'm not sure how well this deck would work, because I'm not really super. Don't think I'm very good at building this playstyle. But this is a support deck, so there's the change log right there. And then here's the rundown. Yeah, basically I have supports, and then I have a crap load of stuff to help me draw my supports. Like, all the time. And I was noticing that the little bar started going up higher now, so maybe my mic got a little closer than it should be right now. To my head, to my mouth. But whatever. Yeah, but it's support focused, and I have a lot of stuff to help me draw cards to help me get to those supports when I don't get them right away. I'm not sure how well it'll do. We'll see, I suppose. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this second rendition of the deck showcase video. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for watching this Creators Corner video. This has been Arcyllis, and I will see you all next time. Bye.